Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Nickley Thompson, and as always and as usual, I am joined by the wonderful Lasham Cristiano.
Hello.
How the devil are you?
Fine. I wish I was playing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Which is weird because we actually have spent most of our evening complaining about Spider-Man so far, but I want to carry on playing it.
but we've complained about Spider-Man not being Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
But what you're actually saying is you want to go play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You don't want to play the
Mary
non
Jane
Spider-Man
Simulator.
Yeah, we don't want to go play fucking. Excuse me, that's MySpace. Fucking I don't know what they've done to her character model. But
I haven't had this problem. You were texting me about it.
it's not even just that. She looks completely different. And also...
I don't think she looks different at all. She has different hair. Women can look crazy different when they change their hair, to be fair.
Yes, but it's also the... Peter's contact photo for Mary Jane when she calls up is literally...
Maybe it's just a goofy photo they took. They're having fun one night, you know.
Yeah, but it's not like me doing that. It's clearly meant to be goofy. On her, it clearly looks like a please don't park there. Like, she looks like one of these Karens on Reddit. Is what she looks like. So I don't quite understand. And also, they've kind of picked and choose which actors' actual faces they're going to use, and I don't quite understand how they've come to these decisions.
I didn't realize there were actors where they picked users.
Miles that's his face.
Oh, right.
Because I didn't realise that either, but then I saw like this press event of them together, and I was like, he's real.
I see.
So then why not just use Yuri's face?
Maybe they didn't like Yuri's face.
But make him look younger.
Maybe they just didn't like Yuri's face.
I feel for the people who went straight from Spider-Man PS4 to Spider-Man 2 PS5 and gone, who the fuck is this dude? Mr. Peter Parker, plastic surgery alum. But anyway.
We'll talk about Spider-Man next week.
Yes, indeed. In lots.
Yes.
We'll talk about Spider-Man lots next week. We're here to talk about, unfortunately, the Eternals to just Hannah. So enjoy, Hannah. With a budget of $200 million, that's far too much money, and a worldwide gross of $402 million. That's insane. $64,899. This made nothing. I mean, it made over double its money, but
yeah, but in the grand scheme of things for a movie from the MCU, yeah,
it made nothing, and I can tell you why. It's fucking boring.
Oh God! Do you know? So I've seen this movie twice before. Because I saw it once when it came out, and then I watched it again when it hit Disney Plus.
Same. Yeah, this will be viewing number 3.
Yeah, I don't remember being this bored by it, and I don't know if I think there's probably an element of I'd rather be doing something else. I think there's an element of that, to be fair to the film, but also I think it just has zero rewatchability.
I agree. I
don't remember being bored when we first saw it.
No, I don't remember being bored either. But also, like, you start to pick things out, though. This is very Avatar in this. This has been shot to look pretty, not make sense.
100%.
There's so many times. Do you know how many times they conveniently line up in their little triangle thing?
Yeah. Endless amount of times.
Like, it's ridiculous. At the very beginning, and you can see, like, just slightly off camera, they're like, pose. And it's just mental. It's mental. And also, this time, I was just like, I think having a stone head that large on the planet would do something.
Knock it off axis.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, not like knock it off, or like that water's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Water displacement is a thing.
Yep.
Have you ever slightly overfilled a bath? Think about the drama that causes. Oh, Christ. The carpet's wet. Carpet?
Some people used to have carpet in their bathrooms in like the 70s.
Criminals.
That was a thing.
Criminals.
Yeah, I remember that was a weird thing in the 70s.
Criminals. Do you know who had carpet in the bathroom? Savile. That's who had carpet in the bathroom.
Probably. Yeah. Probably. He was very prominent in the 70s when it was in fashion, so it makes sense.
No, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I feel like that would have. Well, we were not recording.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Just the Stream Deck just does this thing sometimes where it just resets itself to the home screen. I don't know why.
I see. Yes, but this movie overall was boring. Are you ready to rank it?
No, I actually have things I do want to say about it. And yeah, it's weird because it was just mostly a boring time. And I don't remember it being boring the first time I saw it. And I do think that's because it has it doesn't have any rewatchability. Because actually what really makes the film interesting from a plot's point of view is the twist. So once you know that, it means that all of the foreshadowing you're getting to the twist is actually pointless because I know where this is going now, and then the fight I just feel like it feels weightless once you know what happens. Also, and I think I did make this complaint before. I think you probably watched back to the last episode we did on this film. It feels like it has no substance within the MCU. And I know that's a weird. It's not really a criticism, but for me, it is it's a criticism as an entry into the MCU.
I agree, because the only thing that could and has only ever been like slightly mentioned since is, and that's fine. Like they might go into it later. Is obviously the fucking massive being in the middle of the sea. The massive being in the middle of the
sky, but this is another one where
the sea. I mean, the stone
sea.
guy. Yeah.
Well, but
the sky as well. Yeah,
a big guy appeared.
To be fair, post Thanos, that's a Tuesday.
Yeah, but you would think it'd be a talking point at some point.
Yeah, but it's been years now for them. So
true. Also, but this is another one of those films that starts to set up a bunch of little threads that has never been pulled on. So the whole Kit Harington thing and the Excalibur.
Yeah, but. Like, there's time. Like, I appreciate that as a criticism. I bring that up as a criticism for many things as well.
That's a criticism of the MCU as a whole.
Yeah, but
that's not the film's fault.
No, but also like there are threads in Phase 1 of the MCU that didn't get pulled. So like, there is certainly time. Although we know that the Blade movie is in trouble. But
I do feel like, however. Given that the only actual link this actually has to the rest of the greater MCU is that they mentioned Thanos and Iron Man a couple of times, and that's clearly done to go, oh,
this is the MCU.
Yeah, see, look, it's MCU because we said Iron Man and Captain Rogers and whatnot. And part of me kind of wishes that Marvel are going to keep making billions of fucking films, and I think it's acceptable to just go, this one. Isn't not part of it.
Yeah, like people
and I think I'd be okay with that.
People keep saying that Marvel just need to stop, and I'm like, they are a company. What a stupid request for them to just stop. Like, do you not? That's like saying to Amazon, stop it. Like, just stop delivering things, you lunatics. It's too much. You've done it for years. It's too. What a fucking idiotic thing to say. But I agree in that not everything needs to be MCU.
Yeah, and I think. Yeah, I think if you're going to say it is MCU, then make it MCU. Like, commit to it. Don't just do a little throwaway comment. And I know there's time for it to become that, but I don't know. I just feel like the story was so detached from it because there's so many little things I could pick at with the plot. Like, one of the talking points is, Kit's like, well, why didn't you help with Thanos? Oh, we were told we couldn't get involved in these things. But then we won the flashbacks. The whole reason they're all arguing and going their own ways is because they want to fucking help the planet, because they feel like they should be helping and should be getting involved. So I don't buy that in the thousands of fucking years it's been since they've got rid of all the deviants. Well, still a long time.
It's the times that they mention don't make much sense.
No, but like in that time with any of these things going on, that at least fucking Druig would have been like, well, I'm gonna go help. Because his whole point is he wants to help, and that's why he leaves, and that's why they all break. So I just don't buy that they would stick to that they would just sit there and wait and ignore him, especially throughout the whole fucking film. Is we want to save the humans, Well, so why were you not recently? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't buy the argument because we were told not to.
No,
because you were already disputing that 500 years ago.
Yeah,
so
and
feels convenient.
Yeah, it's lazy. It's completely lazy. It was they came up with this thing and then wrote the backstory later and then didn't think that would didn't notice the fact that it would clash. But yeah, the whole thing with time is all over the place in this movie, because they say times like it's this long ago, and then like I actually did the math earlier. It was quite off. In terms of the years, because they say they've been here for 7,000 years.
Yeah.
they got together in. So Cersei and Icarus got together. What was it? 575. That was 575 BC. That's when they did the poo. And all that stuff. And then they broke up 500 years ago, which means. But they were together for 5,000 years. It's way off.
Yeah.
Math-wise, that's way off. 2,000 at most. God, it's not that long a relationship.
I did enjoy the. I'd call that long term.
Yeah, yes, that's probably long term. I enjoyed Kit Harington in this movie. I would like
Richard Madden. I like Richard Madden.
Yeah.
I was thinking this earlier. I actually think Richard Madden would be my Bond casting.
Well, actually make him Scottish.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Oh no, Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Yeah.
Connery.
Sean
Connery.
Connery. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was like, I can see it.
Oh yeah. I would not be mad.
He's got the suave that he can switch on, and Bond's supposed to be Scottish, so.
They tried to make him Scottish in that his house was in Scotland in the Daniel Craig movies, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd enjoy that, and I don't.
There are many people at the moment who I'd be okay with playing Bond.
Spiffy said to Matt yesterday, I didn't want to be Bond, and I spent this whole film thinking of Homelander. That's just the fiery eyes. The Homelander.
That's just
thing.
someone who can fly, who has laser eyes.
Yeah.
They point to DC twice in this movie. They reference Batman and Superman.
I made some notes. I don't know if you did.
Yes, I did. My first one was opening text scroll. Bad.
I put a comment on that. I don't like opening title scroll.
Yeah. It was obnoxious in Star Wars, and it's still obnoxious now.
It's lazy.
Tell a story. I'm not here to read a fucking book.
No, yeah.
Show me a story.
Yeah, I don't want to read the exposition at the beginning.
My next one, just because it's before it gets into the movie again, bounding between aspect ratios.
Yes.
Stop it.
3 aspect ratios. That was my first. There's 3 aspect ratios in this movie, and
but it's not scene to scene.
No,
it's shot to fucking shot.
It doesn't make any sense.
It drives me mad. And there were moments where I'm like, it's the cool action bit.
Yeah.
And then we're here to have a chat.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It doesn't make sense why they've chosen. It was almost like it was shot at different times and they had different cameras.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's so fucking weird. Because you're in the middle of the action scene and it'll be like an IMAX shot, and then it will cut to a different angle in the same fight, still a fight scene, and it's suddenly like this, and it'll be back again, and then you say they're in a stairwell having a kiss, and it's fucking IMAX. But there's also a 3rd aspect ratio, because the IMAX ratio still has a little bit of letterboxing, but occasionally it goes to a complete 16:9.
I didn't notice that, to be fair.
So the very first opening shot is 16:9, and then it doesn't actually happen again until the end of the film when I can't remember the Cecil's name, Arishem.
Close enough.
When he comes at the end, that switches between all 3 aspects.
Imagine that'd be a lot. Is that what a tsunami is?
That's why the sea's so salty. But that switches between 3 aspect ratios in the space of like a 20-second sequence. Like, why?
It's obnoxious, yeah.
And there's no reason for it. It was just distracting because of how much it does it as well. I find it distracting when a scene suddenly changes. But as you say, this was within scenes.
It's not scene to scene. It is shot to shot, and it's so fucking annoying.
It's
to
so
the point where
distracting.
I got so close to just watching the normal version.
It's I even considered it. I actually considered it
because it's so infuriating.
I
just
actually
fucking stop it.
Put a really big critique on it as well, because at that point I think it's genuinely bad filmmaking.
I agree,
because it's like it just looks shit and so distracting. I think it's just bad filmmaking at that point, and I'd actually knock it down a peg for that.
I agree.
I also put in here, just before we really get into the proper film, because we both had the same opening comments, the foreshadowing, talking about Apex Predator stuff in the classroom felt so convenient.
Of course, yeah.
Like, I know foreshadowing is always convenient, and there's nothing wrong with foreshadowing, but I don't even feel like this was really relevant foreshadowing. Like, I get it. I don't know if I needed that to get the concept of the Deviants are supposed to be an Apex Predator and actually the Eternals are. Like, I don't think I needed the science lesson to get it. It just felt weird. And I don't know if I noticed it the first time I watched it. I don't know if it's just because I know now. Maybe on that initial watch it's not much of an issue. Maybe that's a rewatch issue.
Quite possibly. But that doesn't negate it, because you mentioned the twists earlier. There are movies with twists that you can rewatch.
Yeah.
And rewatch it because they're just well made and it's well I think I didn't take many notes in this because I was bored out of my mind. So my next one isn't until Sand in Your Booty Hole. Is what is.
So I've got a few notes before. I've got 2 notes before that. But I have put MCU's first sex scene adds nothing and also looks very sandy. Hannah even noticed the aspect ratio changes.
No, she didn't. I noticed zero
aspect
ratio.
ratio.
Did you watch the IMAX version specifically?
But there will be that, yeah. If you didn't watch the IMAX version, then you wouldn't have seen it.
They won't have any aspect ratio changes if you didn't watch the IMAX version.
I do enjoy that we both made sand comments. I actually also, again, I think it's a bad choice to put the unnecessary sex scene in it.
I agree.
Because it
also wasn't
nothing.
a good one.
Well, it was just pointless. Just what did that add? Absolutely nothing. And
to be fair, I feel the same way about every sex scene.
I feel that about most to nearly all sex scenes. I agree. I think there are some movies where like the story is specifically about sex or something, so I'll accept it. Mm-hmm. Like 50 Shades, for example.
Yes.
If you didn't have sex scenes in 50 Shades, you've not got a film.
I'd argue you've not got a film with 50 Shades anyway.
But and porn, exactly. Like I'd be really annoyed if I switched on porn and it was just the plumber arriving and then leaving again.
The plumber arriving is usually the bit I skipped.
But like the main reason that this doesn't even work is in the context of why you would put a scene. Why would you put a sex scene in a movie? Oh, it's to show a character's bond and show their relationship growing and peaking, essentially. Because I feel like you had it in the scene before of them just talking to each other and saying, "I'll have you if you want me," or whatever it is, and they do a little kiss. I get it. And then it cuts to the wedding scene. I don't need the shag in the middle. I've assumed they've shagged
because we've had stronger relationships shown in the MCU, and we've managed to go 13 years without a sex scene and show these relationships with Tony and Pepper and Steve and Peggy.
and the thing is, like, Tony and Pepper particularly, but like it's not like sex doesn't exist between them.
No, it's also implied. Iron Man 1, you have with the reporter. They fall in and they do the smoochity wooch on the bed, and then they fall off the bed, and then it cuts. Like, you can imply.
Yeah, exactly.
And not even subtle implications. That is obviously not a subtle implication. You know some pounding's about to partake. But yeah, it's this is weird. So Cersei mentions her ex, but forgot to tell Dane she's married to someone.
Yeah, I also thought that. They keep referring to him as the ex-boyfriend. And it's like, husband.
Would a marriage from 400 BC hold up?
Probably not. No, it's probably not a legally binding marriage
at
this point.
Yeah, so I would say you're off the hook.
But morally,
they're robots.
Yeah, no, true.
So,
I did put some comments in here, though. You believed me, I do now. I enjoyed that line. Mm-hmm. And there was actually quite a few moments where I laughed watching this.
And they were all Kit Harington.
They're pretty much all exclusively Kit Harington.
Because no one else in this... Yeah, to be fair, not his best work.
No,
movie,
but I did enjoy him.
I do enjoy Camille Nanjiani. Yeah. I think he's very funny, but this is...
Yeah, that whole thing with that whole sequence is like, I think you're a wizard, and then it's like, you told me you killed all the demons. You told him. You believed me. I do now. It's really good. That's good. Good comedy. That's the right kind of comedy as well. More of
Hannah
that,
says,
please.
but they don't know they're robots. Why do they even have genitals? Because if they didn't, the fact that they're robots may come to them a bit quicker.
Yes, precisely. Precisely. I also put, I don't particularly like changes in time period, although it seems essential to make this story work. So it's just, I was getting frustrated with the back and forth time thing. I've said that before about this film.
That's fair.
But it's annoying because it's like, it kind of does need it for the story to work. I just don't like it. I find it hard to follow when things shift time perspective so often. I just get so lost.
You would hate Hill House.
I'm sure I would.
That thing is not in order.
Sure I would. It's my biggest complaint about Pulp Fiction, to be honest.
To be fair, I think there are there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
I think this is fine. This isn't particularly impressive.
Yeah, it was serviceable, and I do think it was needed to be done that way for the story to make sense.
There's also ways to do it badly, and that's why I don't like Pulp Fiction. I actually think it is bad.
Just need to address something. Hannah, you realise that it's not just humans that have genitals.
And they're humanoid. What do you like? They look like humans because they're meant to blend in.
But also, go and have a look at your cat.
But do you think, like, within 7,000 years, there's probably some humans who have seen them naked?
Yeah.
Do you think?
And they've definitely seen some humans naked.
Yeah, for sure. And do you not think that humans may go, something's amiss, if they just had a dog's dick?
Yeah. Especially, like, you know, we know from history that there was a lot of, like, big parts of history that, like, celebrated, like, orgies. Especially in Greece. One of them's Athena. And Greece, the Greeks are, like, all over.
Trying to look at my pussy.
Are, like, all over the sex and the orgies and the, you know, they don't care.
Athena probably wouldn't have been invited to them though, because if you follow the Greeks, there's usually a lot of bumming.
Oh yeah, a lot of bumming. But there's
I know. You know. It's very just any hole's a goal of an orgy.
You know, she's a good-looking woman. She would have got around. I'm sure.
I always forget Angelina Jolie's in the MCU.
It's because this movie shouldn't be in the MCU.
Yeah, well, yes, I agree.
So you know, there would absolutely be an opportunity going. Your thingy is missing. That
yes,
would
I completely buy that you would design them to look exactly like humans. I don't know why the other Eternals look like humans, but here we go.
The ones from other planets.
But again, in Marvel Land, a lot of other planets have humanoids.
Humans, yeah. Also, I think in reality that's a plausible thing. I wouldn't be surprised if when we do inevitably find intelligent life on other planets, I wouldn't be surprised if we find some which are pretty much humanoids, pretty much human. I wouldn't be surprised by that. There'd be some slight differences.
Hannah, I can't get over. I know you're probably just trolling, but if you're being serious, I can't get over what you can't wrap your head around. but they were designed to blend in. To blend in, they need to look the same. So they need the things. And also, just keep them complacent so they can diddle each other.
Yeah.
But anyway.
My other notes were... come after the sex scene thing. Druig is easily the most interesting character. I think the movie should just be about him.
Yes, I would have much preferred to have movies or even series about the separate Eternals.
Yeah, well, if anything, though, I think Druig is a very good character, a very interesting character. I think he's a great performance as well.
It's also the most potential to tell an interesting story with him.
Because his whole story is him completely rebelling against this idea and that he wants to be better and is going to, you know, and it is really fucking powerful. Like, his whole thing is, I could just stop this. I could just do it. And it's this weird kind of... They kind of touch on it even in this idea that he's going to stop them fighting because they deserve better than this, but all he's doing is making them a slave to himself. Like, you know, it's all he's doing is an overlord. It's a dictatorship, essentially. And it's that in itself could be a really interesting story to tell. I just prefer that.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I would have preferred, instead of this story, I kind of would have preferred them through the ages as like the whole thing. Maybe save this whatever nonsense and focus hard on the present day stuff for like a sequel, providing that they had made the first one good enough to justify a sequel. When at the end where it said the Eternals will return, I went, unlikely. But focus on like why? Because clearly the end credits. Not the actual credit scene, but just the artsy-fartsy bit.
Yeah.
It's clearly like teeing up all the myths and legends and stuff that are based off of these guys.
And that's an interesting concept as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Athena and obviously Icarus and all that kind of stuff, all just based off of these guys. I don't know what it was, but there was clearly some form of legend based off of Druig as well. But I don't know what it was.
I also like the idea they mentioned is, sprites made up a lot of these stories. These legends that we have now were stories made up by Sprite. And I like that idea. Like, there's so many interesting ideas that this could go into. That's just
the only thing that they did the Icarus flying too close to the sun twice.
Yes,
and we only need one of them. We only needed the reference to say, oh, that was just a story Sprite made up once, or him actually flying into the sun.
But it's a story that Sprite made up, which is what's given him the idea.
Was it?
That's
Or is it just, this is quite obviously the only way I know how to kill myself.
I mean, there is that.
Because I don't really take these beings for ones that could kill themselves. But I'll jump forward a bit because I do have a note about that.
I have like 3 notes left.
Yeah, I don't have many. But my last one, but I'll jump to it now, is I relate to wanting to fly into the sun.
Fair enough.
Bitch slapped Thena is...
Just wrong time code, what we were doing. I was going to guess.
My next note is bitch slapped Thena. This is when she first gets the...
Mad Weary.
And Gilgamesh just ends that confrontation by just... Doosh! And like there's a shockwave and I was like, fuck me. That was like, if you want to talk about a bitch slap, doosh! And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It made me giggle, actually, just because it was a proper fucking slap.
Well, my follow-up note was, because obviously I said, Druig is the most interesting character in the movie, should just be about him. And then my next note is, actually, the movie should just be Kingo's documentary.
Yeah.
Just
my note is...
just, like, film it as a mockumentary, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
Karun is the light that got me through, is what I put. Here's joy.
And then
always bring backups.
My next comment, by the way, is I'm an hour and 10 minutes in and I'm actually bored. I've forgotten I wrote that.
I understand. This is not the most entertaining of movies. My next note is R.I.P. to that glorious looking pie. That pie looked great, I can't lie. That pie looked wonderful. I wanted to eat it. And then it went on the floor. And then I had a compliment.
Oh, yeah, I've got a compliment next.
The art direction is cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, I agree with that. I didn't write that, but I agree with that. It is.
I think all the weird gold
the
lines
gold liney things. Yeah,
I think it's really cool. And all their suits are really cool.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think it is really cool. Visually, it's a pretty nice film.
We were saying, why would you make one of them deaf? Why would you make one of them a child?
Well, yeah. There's a lot of things I have. I'm not really sure, given that they've all come from the same place, why you would make them all different races and creeds either.
To blend in, I guess, but...
Yeah, but then like...
You wouldn't blend in together, but it's the idea that they're supposed to separate. But then their powers are so different.
Yeah, they need each other for their powers to work together. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a bit odd. But
especially
who am I to question a...
especially... May I just put...
Sentinel? Celestial, that's it.
Mesopotamia.
Oh, yeah.
And a bunch of white people just show up.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder some of them were like, let's grab our weapons. What the fuck is this pasty prick?
It does make sense that they thought they were gods.
For sure. But they picked up their weapons and wanted to kill them.
Yeah. Also makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, because... Maybe these two are... So, Makari and Salma Hayek. What's her name?
Ajax.
Maybe them two will be blending in and where they landed in Mesopotamia.
I thought Salma Hayek, I saying that. I thought she was awful, by the way.
Yeah, she is.
See, I don't think she was good in this.
No. Is she in anything? I've never really seen her in anything.
The only thing she's good in is when she's in like the Adam Sandler comedies because she's acting against Adam Sandler, so anyone's good. That's
true. Adam Sandler fucking sucks. I just want to point that out there. Adam Sandler has never made a good movie in his life. I just want to put that out there. And all of you, by all of you, there's only one of you here, and no one's going to watch it on YouTube. So all of you coming out here with Happy Gilmore's good. Happy Gilmore is shit. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, I like all of them, to be fair. Although I don't really care for Ajax, Sprite, whatever.
Well, a couple of them have some really good performance moments, actually. Mm-hmm. But normally acting against Salma Hayek. So is it Barry Keoghan? Is that his name? Am I remembering that right?
Barry Keoghan, yeah. Druig, yeah.
So, I actually think the scene where he is talking about that he can just stop all this, I think his performance in that scene is genuinely really fucking good.
To be fair, I would go ahead and say he's probably the best actor in this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's that moment where he's there and he's talking about, like, I've been watching this for thousands of years, you know what that does? So his performance in that scene is really, really good. And he's acting against someone who is so wooden.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't...
And not in the plumber kind of way.
No. And it just doesn't... Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of bits like that. Where it just kind of feels like... yeah.
I agree. But everyone else, I think, actually has a moment and has a time to shine. My next thing, which is also a compliment, is the FX for Makari's speed look fucking great.
Yep, I agree with that.
And what's really funny is this is a smidgen of the movie compared to the fucking Flash, where that looks dog shit. It's his entire shtick. It's that movie's entire shtick. And it looks like fucking shit in The Flash. It looks awful. And then the director comes out and was like, oh, we did this on purpose to make all this warp. No. You gave 3 visual effects artists 20 quid and 8 days.
I think there are times as well where we did this on purpose thing. It was like, okay, well, it was a shit decision.
Yeah.
That
doesn't justify the fact that it's wank.
Yeah.
Do you know what else happened on purpose?
Oh, God, where'd it go?
I'm not going to finish that.
I think we were on the same page. Yeah, we're on the same page. Oh, dear. Fucking hell. Right. I put the forest fight is quite good.
Forest fight is quite good.
There's some good stuff in there. I
quite
enjoyed
like
that.
The beach fight at the end.
It's
That is what I was going to say, Hannah, yeah.
For anyone watching later, if you have gotten this far, just use your imagination.
Rhymes with Shitler.
My final comment, the final note I put, is then 10 out of 10 to Druid conking Sprite on the head.
With a fucking rock, that was...
But there's something about it, because like, it just makes such a noise. It's really funny to me. I really enjoyed it.
It was really good. It was really good. No, I quite like the beach fight at the end. As all of them, well, whoever's the fucking left.
I had actually started to zone out quite a lot by that point.
I wasn't really watching.
Yeah.
I know what it is. It's just, again, the speed looks so good,
No,
and
it
I was
does.
like, and that's why I was just like watching the Flash. I was like, you could have just Control-C, Control-V at Eternals. Have you seen what it looked like? The speed looks like in The Flash. I do think killing Gilgamesh was a mistake.
Yep, I also agree with what Hannah just said, which is felt the whole deviant evolving thing was completely unnecessary and a waste of Bill Skarsgård.
Oh yeah, that's pointless. Completely pointless.
It's literally, it was just there to try and add a little bit of increased threat throughout the movie. It's a red herring, really.
Yeah. It was literally just to take eyes off of Icarus being the villain. That's all it was. You needed something. But again, like I still think you could have just done that with deviants. Like,
just have an endless amount of deviants showing up, essentially.
Yeah, and the character could still be dying. I feel like the evolving did nothing.
Yeah, because the evolving is the red herring of it's supposed to be. The big threat is going to be this guy's going to be impossible to kill, and they're all going to have to come together to kill him. Like, that's the red herring. Whereas actually, that's not the problem. That's not the issue at all. That's just
But yeah, I agree. Complete waste of time and everything. To be honest with you, yes, killing Gilgamesh was a mistake. There aren't that many left, are there? So Icarus is ash.
Yep.
Ajak is dead. Sprite is human. Gilgamesh is dead. Makari.
Makari goes off with...
Yeah, I can't remember. Makari, Druig, and Thena have all
gone off.
Fobbed off to try and find the other Eternals.
Yeah, I can't remember the other guy's name. Festus?
Fastus. I think
something
it's Fastus.
Cersei. He's just gone back home.
Well, they did, but because with Cersei and Kingo as well, they were all on Earth.
Yeah.
But then they got taken by the
big red meanie. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them are hanging out with
and
Harry
Patton
Styles.
Oswalt.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't go. I don't like Patton Oswalt. He's a problem. He's a genuine problem apparently.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, me.
Yeah, like an actual full-on Did you see that thing of Comic-Con where he was hosting like a Stranger Things panel? This was really early Stranger
This rings a
Things.
bell.
This was really like, so they were like 11 or 12, and one of them's called Finn Wolfhard, which was like, and he started referring to his name as like the greatest porn star name, and like, you're talking to a 12-year-old, mate, in public, on stage, in Hall H, on camera.
Oh dear, Patton.
To the point where David Harbour like just looked at Finn, which ignore him, and then just fucking glared up. If I got evil eyes from David Harbour, I'd die and come.
I'd probably keep doing whatever I was doing that was getting that attention from him.
To get strangled.
He's adopted is the answer to that question.
Okay, so if Eros and Thanos are brothers, why is there... What, he would have just been put... You're getting hung up on the strangest, most obvious things. He would have just been placed... I imagine he's been around since before Thanos and was just around and was just placed there. He's a prince. So he was clearly just a member, like, taking charge.
He was a member.
He was a member. Oh, probably. Harry Styles. It is weird that he was in it for 2 seconds and he got a better performance than Selma Hayek.
I don't really have much else to say about this movie. I didn't like it very much
No.
either.
No.
I'm probably going to be quite harsh on the next stage of this show.
Probably won't be that harsh, but
I did not enjoy watching this today. At all.
No, I blame that more on Spider-Man.
For sure. But
I'm not going to be that hard. I'm not going to be nice. But anyway, so yeah, let's rank
find
it.
out. Well, we score it first. What would you
Oh, that's what I mean.
Score it?
6.
Interesting. Because I was hovering between a 5 and a 6.
Yeah, it's not a 5. It's not.
I don't know, because I think there is some bad filmmaking in it, as we discussed, from like technical points of view, but then also like the red herring doesn't really add anything. There's a lot of stuff they put in there which doesn't add anything. There's some poor performances. It's slow. It's boring. I think there's an argument for 5. I'd accept 6, but I think there's a fair argument for a 5.
I don't know. Because I haven't been rating or ranking any of these based on the rewatch thing. Based on rewatches. I find the argument for a 5 harder as a film for an initial viewing.
That's fair. That's fair enough.
For a rewatch, sure. But
Hannah says 5 as well. But
Hannah's been wrong about every single one of these, so I don't.
I do accept 6, so I think that's a fair score.
I think 6 is as low as you can go, really.
All right. Well, we will agree and settle on a 6.
I do know exactly where I'm going to fucking rank it, though. I'm
intrigued by that. Let me see. First of all, so here is the ranking thus far.
Not changed much. I can't be bothered to reread it again. You can see here. Infinity War, I'm going to read it again anyway. Infinity War, Civil War, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Ragnarok, Age of Ultron, Avengers, Far From Home, Homecoming, Shang-Chi, Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant plus Wasp, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Iron Man 2, First Avenger coming in at 23, and then a big gap to 29 and 30 for The Incredible Hulk and Thor The Dark World. This goes at a solid 28.
I was actually going to say 29.
Oh, no. Hulk's worse. Hulk is absolutely worse.
Yeah, there's probably a big part of it, which is just the bad timing of when I watched this film.
Yeah. Hulk is objectively just boring. Every performance in that movie is fucking dog shit.
No, you're right. Okay.
Hulk looks stupid.
28. I agree with 28. Because I was going to put 29, so I agree with 28.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely everything that comes after this. There's one film I can think of that I might put lower. But we'll see when we rewatch it.
Love and Thunder?
Yeah,
probably.
We'll see when we rewatch it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I didn't like that film once. I didn't like it the first time I saw it.
No, who did? Well, actually, I know there's a podcast I watch who says it's exactly the same as Ragnarok, and
It's
I think
not.
there's people. I think that person's a fucking idiot.
I don't think they watched it. I think they just watched the trailer and made an assumption.
Well, he was just like, the comedy's the same. And I'm like, no, it's
Absolutely not.
the comedy's not the same. The comedy is. We could probably drop them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just clarifying. It's going in 28.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
let's get rid of that.
The comedy is not the same. The comedy is of a similar style where the person writing the jokes has not been reined in. It's not. Yeah, we'll get into that when we fucking watch it. I'm not having that conversation twice. But
Yeah, but that is like, I know I don't like that movie.
yeah. So
Like, as I said, I don't. The first thing I said about Eternals is I don't remember being bored when I first watched it. When I first watched Thor, I didn't like it.
Yep.
Or Ragnarok, anyway. I did. Not Ragnarok.
Love
and Thunder. I didn't like it. And then when I watched it a second time to give it a second chance, I still didn't like it. So,
have you watched it twice? I don't think I have.
yeah, I gave it a second watch when it came to Disney Plus because it was like basically my thought process was when I saw Multiverse of Madness, I wasn't overly keen, and then on my second watch, I completely shifted because I was like, my expectations are different. I now know what this is, and now when I'm watching it with that mindset, I actually really enjoyed it. So I thought maybe it'd be a similar scenario with Love and Thunder.
No, that game, that movie was just objectively shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
So
Completely agreed.
that will be
Completely
another low
agreed.
one.
Yes, it will.
Next week, however,
will be a high one for sure. I'm not sure how high. We'll see.
we'll see.
We'll see.
That's the point of the show.
Yeah, because I actually had lesser. I enjoyed No Way Home less.
Yeah, I know you did and I did. I'm trying to think where it might go. I think I know where I might end up putting it.
I know in the region. I know in the region of where it'll go, but I don't know because I think a lot of you got to take whether or not like that movie is good on its own,
Yeah.
or if it's good because of the fan servicey bits.
For sure.
That'll just wear off.
Yeah, I think I know where I would put it, but we'll
We
see
shall see.
next week.
And by when I say I didn't enjoy it as much on the second time, it was still higher than most of those movies. So, No Way Home is what we'll be watching next week.
There is just one short sequence in No Way Home that I love so much that it keeps it really high for me.
The end.
The bit in particular, spoilers for No Way Home, is when it's basically just one shot. It's when they all jump off and do the swinging together
Oh, I
with
see.
the Sandman,
Yeah.
with the Spider-Man music playing and the three of them, and they're all swinging off each other, and it's so fucking cool. It's so fucking cool, and that for me is like high-end top MCU moments of all time. Just that
It's pretty
bit.
cool.
So
it's pretty cool. I have an issue with Electro in that movie, but we'll
do that next week.
do that next week.
And then are we going to do a press start next week as well, talking about the other Spider-Man?
We may as well. I imagine it'll depend on whether or not we're both at a
But
place.
yeah, see where we are with it, I guess.
Yeah, well, we can finish the story, but and we can try and do it like we did with Assassin's Creed and not really spoil anything.
Yeah.
But
It'd
as
be-
long
I
as
think-
we're in a similar place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to be in a similar place story-wise. I would say, actually, I think both of us will need to have beaten the story, I think, to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't with Creed.
Yeah, it's slightly different how we're going to talk about this one, I think, though, than Creed. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll decide during the week.
We've also got a week, so I
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
we'll be fine. It's not the longest story in the world. I wouldn't be surprised if I finish it tomorrow, but... yeah. It makes no sense that Electro's in that movie. Sorry.
We'll do that next week, but I agree.
I've got worked up about it now. So it's just like, I was hoping you were black. How are you here if you didn't know who he was? Fucking dickhead. Why are you here? Anyway, thank you for watching, Hannah. And remember, we will be back. Watch No Way Home. That's less of an ask than to say watch Eternals. Because No Way Home is a fucking solid movie, whereas Eternals is
Not.
it's bordering. Can I give it a 1? Is it too late?
You wouldn't let me give it a 5. I wanted to give it a 5.
I know. I just wanted to call it a steaming pile of dog shit, but I gave it a 6.
That's not what a 1 is.
No.
I must
no.
admit, I don't remember. What is 1? 1
Why
is...
give me strength.
What would I have given it?
Less than ideal.
I think that's fair.
What's 6? It's just okay,
Fine.
isn't it?
6
Or
is just fine. So, yeah. Right,
yeah,
it's
to
gone
be,
quite-
I always forget what our scale is.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of other people's scales where like 6 is okay and then 5 is like
I mean,
mediocre, or even though they mean the same thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, it really is. It's just
I know,
different
but like
semantics that we
I
use
can,
for
I
comedy.
can, I can live with it. Yeah, this is less than ideal.
Yeah.
I agree with it. I can live with that. I can live with.
Yeah, I wasn't going to
Watch
give it
No Way Home,
a
but first of all,
mind-numbingly dumb.
Can we play the King
The
Kong
Kong
game
game?
just so we can use
I
these?
don't think I would score it a 3.
From what I've seen, I would score it a 1
Yeah.
because that's unexacceptable. Have you seen the cutscene
Yeah,
that just
I've
uses
seen it.
JPEGs?
I've seen JPEGs that aren't even, they don't even fit
They're
the
not
screen.
cropped. They're not cropped or anything. It is literally a JPEG. They couldn't even be fucking bothered to make a PNG.
It's so funny.
Like, they should be shut down and prevented
It
from
is.
doing business.
It is very funny. So is Jack now rescoring this as a 5? Are you?
Yes.
So are we retroactively rescoring it as a 5?
Yes, because I forgot our own scale. I still
right.
stand by Hannah's wrong about every single one of them. Though.
Is it still saying in 28th? Or are we putting it?
No. I'd still stand by Hulk as worst, despite the fact that we probably scored Hulk higher.
Being here
I
somewhere.
reckon 5 is the lowest we've ever given. I think Hulk was the 6.
Let's see. No, I've given something. I gave a game.
No. I meant on this.
Oh, right. I was gonna say, I think I've given
you
a
gave
game
Need
a
for
4.
Speed a 4. Yeah.
Stand by that. Let's see. Hulk will be in here somewhere. Hulk.
Iron Man 2.
Gave it a 6.
Yeah.
What did we do? Thor 2.
6 probably. I reckon.
I didn't write it down.
So I'm still wrong, despite saying the same number that you said. That sounds about right. Yeah, exactly.
But that makes her right about that.
No, because I said since giving it a 5. That,
I see.
That she's still wrong. You definitely put you gave it a 0.5. That's thank you very much for joining, Hannah. Remember No Way Home? But yes, first Fall of House of Usher, the longest title for a TV show in the world. House of Usher. Just leave it there. The Fall of the House of Usher is too long of a title for a TV
Agreed.
show. It's a very good show, though.
Too many does in it.
Yeah. I mean,
And ofs.
The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah, it's too
Two there's and two ofs.
too many steps to that.
The Fall of the House of Usher. The Fall of House Usher, I think, would have worked better.
I agree.
Or House of Usher.
Yeah.
Just call it House of Usher. But it's based on something that already has that
Or-
name.
The Fall.
It's a bit vague.
We're a bit vague.
I mean, at least The Fall of the House of Usher tells you exactly what you're getting.
I made a joke about you today, which I was really pleased with.
About me?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
rude.
I was really pleased. Well, it's not really about you. It's about your name. But I was really pleased. But it was about you as well. But I was pleased with it. And it's a shit joke, but I'm really pleased with it. So talking to Hayden about the stag do I'm going on in a couple of weeks. And he was like, I'm trying to work out how many people there you know. You probably know most people. I was like, well, who's going? He was like, well, Sam, you know Nick, you know my dad. I was like, yeah, I know those people. And then he was like, and you know Matt, my other best man. I was like, yeah. And then he was like, and he said, Bruce might be going, you know him. I was like, yeah. He's like, so the other people, so the only other two are the 2 Jacks, which I don't think you've met. I was like, oh, Jack's going. He was like, no, my Jacks. I was like, oh, right. That's too many Jacks. That means I'll know too many Jacks. And he was like, yeah, don't bring your Jack as well. That'll be too many Jacks. I said, if we do, we can get them all together and they can have a Jack off.
Dearie me. I'd win.
You got practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're a massive wanker. Should we
Yep,
go and play
yeah.
Spider-Man?
Yeah. There's something to do with biscuits.
I got some biscuits, yeah.
That's not what I was going for.
I know.
They are
I'll bring the
soggy.
biscuits, you bring the...
Watch No Way Home, you bastards, and reconvene a week from now. Where was Tomb? He needs a telling off. He's always ready for Rich's streams. Where the fuck is he for us?
Well, Rich isn't here.
Rich has an excuse.
Yeah, but I mean, Rich isn't here, so Tomb isn't here. Tomb goes where Rich goes.
Is Rich Tomb? Are they one and the same person?
Could you imagine? That'd be a hustle.
My mind would be more blown than the beet rice scenario.
Yeah. I agree.
And that only lasted like an hour.
That's because it was Jack Bacon. To
Yes,
be fair.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
That would be the biggest plot twist in
I
history.
think I'd promote Rich to channel leader.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just give it all to him. You
Yeah.
do it now. We'll leave.
Yeah,
We'll start our own channel.
that's how we got into this mess. We started doing something for somebody else and then decided, no, fuck it, we'll do it for ourselves. And look how well that went.
Oh yeah, don't talk about that. I'm already miserable.
Anyway, this time we're actually going to leave, watch No Way Home, and come back in a week.